Hey, this is David Plotz, CEO of CityCast. I have a favor to ask before we get to today's conversation. We're doing our annual listener survey, and it would really help us out if you took it. And even if you took it last year, we'd be grateful if you took it again, because we can't use last year's data. Please go to citycast.fm/survey to take the survey. It's only 7 minutes long, we know, because we timed it. That's citycast.fm/survey. And when you take the survey, you'll also be eligible to win a $250 Visa gift card and CityCast swag, that great CityCast swag. citycast.fm/survey.
I don't know about y'all, but I love learning new things, and the Newberry Library is a perfect place for your curiosity. Adult education has been a tradition at the Newberry since the 1890s. The classes are led by experts, and they're available in person and online. Take a writing workshop, study the history of flamenco, make your own book plate, and so much more. Register at newberry.org. Just click on Learn an Adult Education class to get started. Plus, enter promo code CityCast to get a 10% discount on your next class. That's CityCast, all one word. Today on CityCast Chicago, who gives a damn if February is the shortest month of the year? There is still plenty to do in the city, so we're bringing you our guide to February in Chicago. It's Thursday, January 30th. I'm Jacoby Cochran, and this is what Chicago is talking about. I'm joined by our executive producer, Simone Alicea.
Hey, Jacoby.
We also got producer Michelle Navarro in the building.
Hey, Jacoby.
If you're new to CityCast Chicago, welcome, welcome. This is the daily news podcast where Monday through Friday, we talk about all things Chicago. Some days we're taking you to an amazing basement bar. Others, we're diving into all the chaos of Chicago politics. And most days we're keeping you updated on big stories like what's happening in Chicago's immigrant communities. And every month we like to get things started by bringing you a guide with some of our best tips and recommendations. And seeing that it's February, today we're going to talk a little Black History Month. We're going to talk a little Chicago Theater Week, but we're going to get things started with Valentine's Day. And I wanted to know from our producers today, what do y'all think is an underrated date spot in Chicago? Right now, reservations are going fast. You can't find no steakhouse reservations, no speakeasy reservations. What do y'all think are the perfect underrated date spots during this time?
I've said this before on the show, and I will say it again. I am here to extol the virtues of things like escape rooms and just general gaming as a date. I think it's good for anybody, whether you're kind of early into dating, whether you've been together for a while, whatever your situation is. I think it's good for friends. It's just a good time. And my whole theory on this is basically, it's good to kind of know how you guys solve problems together, how you solve puzzles together. Maybe it's going to start a fight, maybe not, but it's that, just because I think that possibility makes it a good, like an exciting potential date and something a little out of the ordinary. One place that I've been to in Chicago is the Quandary in Lakeview. They have I did an Escape the 90s version. They also have a Home Alone inspired one, and I think like a Jurassic Park kind of dinosaur inspired one. But there are lots of options. There's also lots of options in the suburbs as well. If you look up escape rooms, I think there's several in like sort of Fulton Market, West Loop. Renting an escape room, that's a little bit pricey. I also just recommend like gaming in general, any variation of board game, or if you're like me and you like a tabletop role-playing game like D&D, I think it's just like a great way to be creative. And there's just the opportunity for gaming in Chicago. I really cannot overstate this. Like you've got sort of cafes and bars, Snakes and Lattes in Wicker Park, Bonus Round in Lakeview, Demon Tap in Avondale. There's a place that is new to me, just arriving on my radar, Stay and Play in Irving Park, which also serves like jibaritos and cubanos and Puerto Rican food. So that would be my recommendation, is get yourself some cozy little game, get yourself into an escape room. It's indoors, it's warm, and you get to use your brain a little bit, which I like to do and I think is fun.
I would throw in the various emporiums around the city, whether it's Logan Square, West Loop, Replay Lincoln Park. I think gaming is such a good thing. And I mean that whether it's board games, video games, or even something like Top Golf or like shooting like Papa Shop or something. I think it's important to see how do people do under a few circumstances. One, competition, whether they are winning or losing. Some people show humility or modesty. Some people get real cocky, get real arrogant. I'm not gonna lie. If I whoop your ass in Mortal Kombat like 6 or 7 times, you know, I'm gonna start talking a little. Yeah, I'm gonna start talking about.
I'm a shit talker, Jacoby. I will
Big
absolutely. If I'm doing well, you will not hear the end of it. Now, if I'm doing poorly, I might be quieter. Who knows?
I went to my niece's 9th birthday party over the weekend, and it was bowling, and their entire family there. And I just think bowling. Most times I'm around people who don't know how to bowl, and there's always usually one person who's really good. I'm with you. I think competition in gaming is a good place for dating. What about you, Michelle?
Yeah, I am delighted to now know that I will never go to an arcade bar or do any games with y'all because I'm actually not very competitive.
I'm not very good at games though, Michelle. I think it's important for you to understand. I'm not good at them.
That's fair. That's fair. If I'm with someone and they get really defensive about losing, if you get cocky, that's fine. I think it's funny and I like that. But like, if you start losing, you get defensive. I think that's when I'm like, nah, I don't want to play. I don't want to play with you no more. But in a similar vein, going on a date while playing something, my kind of underrated date spot would be Chris's Billiards in Jefferson Park. This is a very old school spot, like, and it's huge. Like, it almost feels like you're walking through endless rooms. It's just such an old school spot. It's very dark. It's kind of dingy, but in my brain, it's very like dingy in a romantic way. It's also different from like, I don't know, I love playing pool, but it's sometimes hard to go to a bar and play pool when there's like 1 or 2 tables and like everyone's just like in your space waiting for you to be done. And I get nervous, and so I don't play best because I just feel like people are watching me. I'm already not great, but I'm like, it makes it worse when people are watching me. And so it's around $5 to $6 per person per hour, which is very cheap for the city. And other pluses, it's BYOB, and so you can come in with whatever drink you want. You can bring outside food too, so it could kind of be like a very chill, relaxed day. There's also a jukebox, and so you can like play songs, which I also love, and I have a lot of fun with that. I feel like when it comes to date spots, people think that it has to be super aesthetically pleasing, and I feel like this spot, like, it's the dark and dingy and old schoolness makes it romantic.
I think the lighting is so key in a bar date in particular. Like, there is almost nothing more important to me than lighting for a date at a bar, almost more than the drinks or whatever else, because like that is the thing that is setting the mood of, you know, we're going to have like a nice intimate conversation. A spot I really like that's right off the Irving Park Brown line, so kind of like Roscoe area almost, is the Long Room. And it is what it sounds like. It's just like a long bar and a long room, but just the lighting in that area is so cute. And it's so, even though they have like a very long bar and the bar could be full, if you're there with one other person, it totally just feels like it's you and that other person sitting there.
For my underrated date spots, I am going to go a little bit away from the competition, even though I love that's where y'all head at, because I love playing pool, bowling, board games, some Connect Four. I will go away from the competition, and I'm going to talk about Chicago record shops are some really great places for dates, whether you want them to be quick or if you want them to last a little bit longer, and be a little bit extended. One of the reasons I thought about this is because Bridgeport Records, which some people may realize recently opened in Bridgeport, well, they've moved to a larger spot, and they're having a grand reopening this Saturday from 1 to 9 p.m. They carry a whole bunch of genres from jazz, soul, hip hop, grunge, but they really specialize in house and deep house, which they say is the chiller, moodier cousin to house music. I think taking somebody to like a record shop, go a little crate diving, explore what their music taste is. You know, you also get a sense of people's like family. I know when I go to crate diving, I think about my grandmother. I tell stories about my stepfather, who was a DJ my entire childhood. And so we had crates and crates of vinyls in our basement my whole life. But if you can't make it to Bridgeport Records on Saturday, also Miyagi Records in Washington Park has a different DJ come in every Saturday, and Drew Wop is going to be there this weekend. If you're looking for some place where maybe you want to seem a little bit pretentious, a know-it-all, you want to impress somebody, Dusty Groove in Wicker Park might be a great place because their pro is they have a fantastic website that updates every single day.
Oh, so you can do a little study beforehand.
And the owner of the shop writes really nice reviews on almost everything they have in store. And so if you like,
that's diabolical, Jacoby.
I meant to go pick this thing up, or I really wanted to show you this thing, or I've been exploring this new genre. But no, I'm not telling you to lie about liking records, but maybe front that you know a little bit more than you do. And if you want to take the extra stop, Dusty Groove is in like Wicker Park has like some of the best vinyl shops. And so within a mile of Dusty Groove, you got Sugar, you got Signal, and you got the OG Reckless. A couple more shout outs I want to give. If you want a place that is like a Chicago history lesson, Out of the Past in Garfield Park, their original location burned down during the riots after Martin Luther King's assassination. Their owner is over 80 years old, and she says she ain't going nowhere. And so the old pictures, the old records, there's just so much history there. And then a great place about some vinyl shops is some have listening stations. So if you wanted to grab a couple of records and sit down with your date and y'all, throw on the headphones, listen to the same thing or listen to your own thing, you can check out Tone Deaf Records in Portage Park, Hyde Park Records in Hyde Park, and then Pinwheel in Pilsen. And then if you are just looking for nostalgia, 80s, 90s, then Bric-a-Brac Records and Collectibles in Avondale. Not only do they have great records, but they got old wrestling figures. They got old Garfield posters, old VHSs and movie posters. And so it really like a 90s or 80 kids, like throwback nostalgia dream date spot. And so those are just a couple of the vinyl stores, depending on what you're looking for. A first date, trying to get to know somebody a little bit longer, or if you're just trying to chill for an afternoon.
That is such a good idea for a first date, I think, most importantly, because you could cut that as short or as long as you wanted to, which I think is on a first date, I think having an escape route is not a bad idea.
Agreed.
We're going to be talking about the best Valentine's Day deals in restaurants with our friends from The Infatuation next week. So if that's your groove, we ain't forget about you. So make sure you come back then. And of course, maybe every other day between now and then. And if you run out of the things to listen to, dig back into the crates. You see what I did there? All right. We ain't got to talk about more. We keep going. If you like me, then you're trying to get out and explore all of Chicago's museums in 2025. So add the Claremont Collections Automotive Museum to your list now. Low-key, it's Chicago's only automotive museum where you can learn about everything from horseless carriages to modern muscle cars. Plus, the vehicles regularly rotate, so you get a unique experience with each visit. They're also open for school field trips, and they have a private event space that seats up to 200 people. I'm talking birthdays, weddings, quinceañeras, and other special events. So take advantage of that free parking. Make 2025 extraordinary with 50% off annual memberships throughout February. Visit Wednesday through Sunday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and discover over 300 vintage and classic vehicles at Chicago's most spectacular automotive museum. Experience the magic of Claremont Collections Automotive Museum whenever you want. Please don't let this opportunity slip away. Secure your discounted membership at ClaremontCollections.com today. I want to get both of y'all's best tips for February. This could be anything from make sure you're looking where you're parking, make sure you keep a shovel in your car, get out for festivals, whatever the case may be. Michelle, what's your tip for people this February?
February is a time where we're kind of itching because winter, like we're still in the depths of winter and it's probably not going to get any warmer anytime soon. And so I think just finding ways to leave the apartment but do things inside is just like really crucial for everyone's mental health. And so I found Black Futures concert series called Afrofuturism, The Freedom Metropolis. It's a free concert series. It's actually their annual Black History Month concert series, and it's by Uniting Voices. And it's a performance of jazz, soul, pop, funk, hip hop, and Afrobeat at the Chicago Symphony Center. And that takes place February 7th, 10th, and 11th. So you have a couple chances to make it out. I haven't been to the Chicago Symphony Center since high school. And so the fact that this is a free concert series, I'm like, this is the perfect time to go. And of course, this is their Black History Month concert series. And so to go support, listen to some beautiful Black art. I love jazz. I love soul. I love hip hop. I love funk. So I feel like this is something that I'm just like, there's no reason for me to not go to this.
Yeah, I love their website. They've already got events up through April. And so, yeah, check out Uniting Voices, which was formerly known as the Chicago Children's Choir.
And I think you can find a lot of their events actually on our events page at our website, chicago.citycast.fm, where we try to keep track of all the best events. But that is a very good one, and they're a great group.
Simone, what about you? What is your best tip for people this month?
There's a little bit of heaviness right now in the news, right? With the everything that's going on.
Yeah.
And I think now is a really good time to get your volunteering and donations on. Between just sort of all of the executive orders coming out of the White House and the issues around federal funding, and just it's just kind of a chaotic time. And I think of any time of year, of any time we've ever spoken about, like, this is the time to kind of look into who in your communities, who in your networks is doing really important work, is doing work that you want to support and that you want to, make sure that they can keep doing. We did an episode back in November about mutual aid that provided several examples of different mutual aid networks, from the Pilsen Solidarity Network, Femme Defensa, like Chicago Community Jail Support.
Market Box Chicago,
of course. Whether you're interested in, working directly with folks, whether you're interested in getting food to people, I think the trick is to just sort of identify what is important to you, and figure out what it is you might be able to do. Our friends at Block Club have put together a guide to what you can do to help immigrants who are targeted by ICE. There are lots of, again, as we talk about Black History Month, plenty of Black-led organizations doing really important work in Chicago. Good Kids, Mad City, the Brave Space Alliance, the Let Us Breathe Collective. Now, I think more than ever, when things feel like there's nothing you can do, it's that time to do that Google search, talk to your neighbor, look at the flyers that are posted up in your neighborhood, and say, what kind of action can you take, even if it's a small one?
Mm-hmm. The people from Ecosystems of Care and Market Box Chicago are starting a monthly dinner and discussion series, and they're going to do the first one on February 2nd. And it's going to be from 5:30 to 7:30. Childcare will be provided. They're going to be talking about housing, affordable housing concerns, and displacement across the city, particularly in South Shore during their first conversation. But every month, they're going to be talking about different topics that are facing Chicago's marginalized and most vulnerable communities. So if you're looking for a place to also meet new people, find community, figure out how do I tap in to these different organizations, these different mutual aid networks, then this dinner and discussion series may be a good first place.
Jacoby, what about you? What's your biggest tip for February?
People may have been seeing the advertising for Chicago Theater Week over the last few weeks, and it is back for its 13th year. It kicks off February 6th through the 16th. People can enjoy ticket prices dropping down to $15 or $30 for over 100 shows. My tip is, one, to get your tickets as fast as possible. Start going through that long list. One great thing about the Choose Chicago website is you can separate by neighborhood if you want to try to find shows in particular neighborhoods. Unfortunately, there are not shows in every single neighborhood in Chicago. I'd love for that to be the case, but you'll still find a good spread. And because it is Black History Month, I was especially thinking about Black stories that are going to be put on the stage this month, including Raisin in the Sun at the Court Theater in Hyde Park, which our good friend Dr. Eve Ewing was just talking about. If you get a chance, go back to the text or see it on stage. That's running from February 6th through the 16th. Fat Cat Ham at the Goodman in the Loop is one that I'm really interested in seeing. And that closes March 2nd. So that's going to be running all month. Policy, Running Numbers, A Family Business is going to be playing at the Harold Washington Cultural Center, February 13th through the 16th. So many moons ago, we did an episode on Policy, which was essentially the genesis of the Illinois lottery system. These games that were played on the west and south side of Chicago, largely black and brown communities. And then one other show that is really good for younger kids is Bob Marley's Three Little Birds at the Greenhouse Theater Center in Lincoln Park. That's running from February 8th through March 2nd. And that's going to feature reggae music from Bob Marley and his kids and extended family. And that looks like a great show. Every single month, we end our guides by talking about the thing we are most excited to eat this month. Simone, let's start with you. What are you looking forward to eating this month?
Yeah, well, February is my birthday month. My birthday coming up on the 2nd here, very shortly. And so I'm looking forward to having some birthday cake. And one spot that I'm trying to decide between two spots right now. A spot that I've been to and had cake from before, that's Genevieve's in Lakeview. Great LGBTQ owned, Filipino owned spot. With just amazing flavors. I've never had a bad cake from there. The flavors I'm looking at right now are maybe a guava cake or a strawberry matcha cake.
Oh my boy.
Yeah.
We usually just do the vanilla with the half strawberry, half pineapple center.
You see what I'm saying? I've had, I think the last cake I got from her was a mango pandan cake. And then I think before that, it was a pistachio lemon.
Ooh, that sounds so good.
That sounds so good.
Yeah, it hits every single time. Also offers vegan and gluten-free options that I am told by my lactose intolerant friends are very good. But I've had this spot on my radar for a while, so I'm thinking I might go there, and that is Borinquen Cakes. Their main spot is down on the southwest side by Midway, but they also have a cupcake spot in Logan Square, and they do these like little Puerto Rican cupcakes that are traditionally they're soaked in like brandy or in rum. They do it in syrup, so it's like a non-alcoholic version, like a brandy syrup, and so it's like you can like imagine a cupcake that's been soaked and then the sugar like crystallizes.
Ooh,
so it's like
now.
it's like crunchy, and they also have lots of great tropical flavors, and I can mix and match flavors in like a big box of cupcakes. And I've just had my eye on those for a little while because they just look so good and cute. And so yeah, that's kind of what I'm deciding between right now for my birthday.
Sorry, you know how it be. Y'all say something, I get lost on their website for a little bit, staring at all the pictures.
Well, and I know you're looking at those pictures. I know you're looking at those pictures right now.
Oh, I'll be back soon. Soaked Puerto Rican cupcakes. Gourmet soaked Puerto Rican cupcakes is a hilarious tag.
How do you resist that?
It's so many words in there that I absolutely love.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, we can look at these cupcake pictures all day. Simone, happy birthday. We absolutely love working with you. We love and appreciate you, my friend.
No, thank you.
Happy birthday, Simone.
Michelle, we're going to kick it over to you. What are you looking forward to, either eating or drinking or both, this month?
So I'm interested in going to Club X, which is a new speakeasy in the Loop. It actually opened this past December. And it's located in the back dining room of Exchequer Restaurant and Pub, which has been there for a while. I personally never been, but I know it's been in the Loop for a while. And in speakeasy fashion, there's a portrait in the back that you kind of just gently push it and you end up in this Club X. Time Out described it as moody, retro, and sultry. 3 words I also love when it comes to like vibes. And just looking at the photos, it's just like red velvet curtains and like red velvet furniture, and there's like lamps with fringes on it and art, and it just like looks very cute and stylish and just like a really pleasing place to be. The Loop is kind of like in this dire need of like contemporary, more modern spaces. I think there is a lot of like these old school institutions that exist there, and they're very well known. But I think there is so much space in the Loop, especially after the pandemic where we saw so much space, being up for lease. This is kind of what I want. Like, I hope that more more businesses come into the Loop that kind of add this like new energy, like this revival to downtown. And so, yeah, when I saw the photos, I thought it looked beautiful. This is definitely a place where I could see me and my girls going to. The drinks look really good. I've been kind of stalking their Instagram. And so I'm definitely going to try to make it sometime this month, especially since it's like Valentine's Day month.
February is a great time for a speakeasy vibe because not only are you indoors, but I feel like you're double indoors, right? Like you're in the, because you're in the back of the thing.
In the depths of a building.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Can you make reservations to the speakeasy, or is it like a first come?
It looks like it's just walk-ins. What about you, Jacoby? What are you looking forward to eating or drinking this month?
Hey, I want to give a shout out to Louisa Chu from the Tribune and Maxwell Evans from Block Club, who both put me on Mahari, a new restaurant in Hyde Park, which just opened a couple of weeks ago on 55th Street and explores the cuisine of the African diaspora. And so, again, another place I think right on time for Black History Month. They say it's a Creole take on African, Caribbean, and Latin food. I was just going through their menu. I have since closed it down, so give me 2 seconds to pull it back
You were
up.
too busy looking at those cupcakes and that speakeasy, weren't you?
Bro, I moved around. They got a mushroom satay in their small bites, prawn and polenta, which I've been on a prawn kick recently, and so I've been trying it at every place I go, but I've never had it next to polenta, and I think it's a play on shrimp and grits. They also got Haitian hot wings, stuffed plantain, and a Caribbean lamb burger.
What are the plantains stuffed with? I must know what the plantains are stuffed with.
Either spiced ground beef or suya mushroom with Creole tomato sauce, rice and peas, and a burnt feta.
Jacoby, that's the dish. That's the one.
That's the dish right there.
That's it.
I'm thinking about them Haitian wings.
That's I know that also sounded good, but the minute you say plantain, my brain is always like, I need it. I need it right now in front of me.
I'm gonna grab the Haitian hot wings, the stuffed plantain, and then maybe the Caribbean lamb burger to take home.
I know how much you love a lamb.
I love lamb, but they also throw in some grilled pineapple, some smoked Gouda, and some yuca frites. So I'm with it.
That sounds really good. Now I'm really hungry. Thanks, Jacoby.
We know we threw a lot at you during this episode. Places to go play board games and pool, places for theater week. We also talked about a bunch of restaurants, speakeasies, gourmet soaked Puerto Rican cupcakes. If you want to get an exhaustive list, you're going to have to go back and run this episode back. But before you do that, joining me in thanking our amazing super producers, executive producer Simone Alisea.
Hey, thanks, Jacoby.
And producer Michelle Navarro.
Thanks, Jacoby.
One more thing before we get out of here. Bookmark our website, chicago.citycast.fm. That's where you can experience and engage with all that CityCast Chicago has to offer. You can subscribe to our daily newsletter, Hey Chicago. Check out our walking and neighborhood guides and read our articles, which we're updating almost every single day. Now, something you're going to only get on the podcast, unfortunately. Some good news. Yesterday officially marked the Lunar New Year, and the Heritage Museum of Asian Art is inviting all of us over this Saturday from 6 to 9 p.m. for a grand and memorable farewell to the Year of the Dragon with art, performances, live music, food, drinks, and more. Now we are in the Year of the Snake, my friends. As always, we appreciate you for listening and reading. Share us with your friends and family. In the meantime, in between time, we're going to be here bright and early tomorrow. We'll talk to you then. Peace. Can I get a Who Gives a Damn?
Do you want us to give you a Who Gives a Damn, or can you
No, I'm
say
saying,
You said, can I get a?
Can I get a Who Gives a Damn? No, I'm saying, can I get that off?
I was like, that's a weird caller response. I don't know.
We already got our blooper. Like, I don't want to do that. Like, can I get a Who Gives a Damn? Who gives a damn?